Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Erin Ayala. I'm a licensed sports psychologist and a certified mental performance consultant. I'm also a researcher. In other words, I do a lot of work on mental health and student athletes all day, every day. I just wrapped up a big study on injury rehabilitation, so that's what I'm going to talk to you about a little bit today. In short, there are 8 things or 8 areas to focus on if you are an injured athlete and you want to optimize your injury rehabilitation process. We know injury is really hard. It's a grind. Some injuries take longer to kind of be repaired or to recover from than others. Regardless of the injury, there are 8 things to think about. So the first one is social support and leaning into your support system and accepting help or asking for it. In general, athletes don't like to ask for help, and we can be a pretty stubborn bunch. One thing that's really important for you to do is to be willing to accept help from family, friends, partners, teammates, other people in your social support network, and make sure you're spending time with them, even if you want to isolate, because the isolation, withdrawal, avoidance is never going to help us when it comes to our mental health, let alone our recovery process. So the other thing that you want to focus on is going to be sleep and nutrition. A lot of athletes might have the mindset or this misconception that you should fuel less or eat less because you're not working out as much. And unfortunately, that's not true. You want to eat just as much as you normally do because your body needs all of those nutrients to repair from the injury. So don't start cutting calories when you're injured. Keep getting that protein, healthy, like carbs, fats, all of the good stuff so your body can truly recover. Sleep is also super important, making sure that you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep, if not more. A lot of the athletes who I work with are cutting it close to like 6 or 7 hours, and that's a recipe for re-injury. You need to make sure that your body has time to kind of go in and repair the damage and heal, and it does that while we're sleeping. Next area is gradual return to play and physical rehab. This section, you want to be really careful about listening to your body without judging it. So, like, stay curious. Let's say you're doing a set of PT exercises, you have a new injury, like, kind of like feeling of pain. Let your healthcare team know and communicate with them, and then be prepared to pivot, flex, and adapt when needed. Injury is a really, like, it's not a linear process. There are a lot of ups and downs. And so it's really important to be prepared for that ride. And part of that ride means communicating with your healthcare team and let them know how you're doing and how your body is responding to the treatment. Fourth area, nice segue, is communication with your healthcare team. So this is also building up a really robust team of providers. Find someone who can do mental health therapy in sports psychology. It's so important to have that person by your side who can support you along the journey because there are a lot of emotional ups and downs. The USOPC Mental Health Registry is a really great place to start, but there are other great databases around as well. Find a dietitian who can help you with the nutrients to make sure that you're getting enough protein, can help you with any decisions like supplements, other things like that. Physical therapy, find someone who's got really proper equipment for testing you for returning to play so that you are confident that you're ready. Same thing, physicians, surgeons, you want to feel like your healthcare team is on your side and has the same goals as you. Fifth area is goals and accountability. So you really want to trust your medical team and actively engage in the rehab process, like own your journey. Part of the reason for this is you want to be just as invested in it as your medical team is. And this means taking ownership over process goals, setting realistic milestones, talking to your healthcare team about recovery timeline for milestones and kind of what you can anticipate, and then communicating with them along the way. Um, Another really core pillar, this is the sixth one, is having a resilient mindset. I touched on this a little bit, but this is basically preparing yourself for the inevitable ups and downs and not being too quick to judge and watching the self-talk that often comes up, like, I'm a failure, this is taking too long, I can't stand this, I should just quit. When your mind starts making those stories up, just let your mind run its mouth in the background, and you continue to do what's important to you, which is to show up, to invest time, effort, and energy in your recovery and your rehab and focus on what matters. Your brain is trying to look out for you. And unfortunately, it's like an overprotective parent or an unhelpful friend giving you unsolicited advice. You know what is best for your body. And so when that self-doubt or that inner critic starts to creep in, just give it the nod and be like, hey, I see you. Thank you so much for the commentary. I appreciate your advice. And continue to work on whatever it is that you're moving toward, which is often the next milestone in your rehab process. Two more, self-compassion. Athletes do not like self-compassion because they feel like it means they're going soft, they're lowering their standards, they're going to lose their edge. So here's the deal. When you think about self-compassion, think about being just as kind and respectful to yourself as you would a teammate or a friend or a boyfriend or girlfriend also going through an injury recovery. You're not going to tell them that they suck. You're not going to tell them that they should just quit their sport. Like, you are going to be respectful and supportive. And so we need to do the same things for ourselves. And in fact, the more critical you are, the harder you are on yourself, you're actually slowing your recovery process down because you're less likely to lean into those difficult situations where you are going to be stretched and pushed in a way that, like, you might fail a workout and you're not feeling up for it that day. When our inner critic is really running its mouth, it's going to help you avoid those situations where there might be shame or embarrassment or frustration. But you need those situations during your recovery process in order to grow and get to the next level. So don't be too hard on yourself when you find yourself beating yourself up. Try to give yourself a break. Last but not least, whole body healing, focus on stress management, get outside, do things outside of sport, spend time with loved ones, engage in hobbies, things that you haven't done in a long time because you haven't had time as an athlete. Think about other things that you can do outside of your athletic identity. You are more than your injury. And it's important to remind yourself of that. So go out, have fun, do other things, ask your family for ideas if you need them, but really just think about the whole person and the stress management, and know, like, the injury is a part of your journey, but it does not define you as an athlete. It's just one more chapter. So think about, at the end of your book, how do you want to write that chapter? How do you want it to read? What do you want it to sound like? What should it include? And then that can inform how you want to show up during your injury rehab process. Okay. So those are 8 things to focus on for injury rehab. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, Erin, ERIN, at scottysportpsychology.com. It's SKADI, sport is singular, psychology.com. Thanks so much, everyone.